First, we're asking for more TSA representatives to be at the foreign airports. As I said, there are only 21. We need boots on the ground to make sure that foreign airports comply. Second, we must have penalties against foreign countries that don't comply. So we are asking that the TSA tell any foreign nation that doesn't comply with the security laws on the books that first they will not be allowed any special status, and second, that they then not be allowed to have their planes fly here unless every single passenger, whether they're on a watch list or not on a watch list, is thoroughly checked, body search, everything checked with the record, so that we check every one of them, that they're not on any lists, checked as they come in, their luggage hand inspected, and all the things be happen there. Third, we're asking that we now get information where people have flown before if they're on any of the watch lists. Mr. Muttalib went to Yemen. We know that Yemen is a source of terrorism, yet none of the authorities knew that Muttalib had flown to Yemen, even though those records are available. Those records all have to be put together. Fourth, we're asking that visas not be granted to anyone who is on any of the watch lists until a complete check is done. Right now, they had granted Mr. Muttalib a visa without being on, even though he was on the broadest of the watch list. Any one of the 500,000 who's on this list should not be able to get a visa until a 14-day check is done. And if it gets in the way of their inconvenience, too bad. Safety comes first. And the final thing that we're asking is that the watch lists for all foreign travelers be refined and coordinated so that everybody knows that what is going on everywhere. In other words, if one person anywhere in our intelligence knew the 4 facts about Mr. Muttalib, A, he had flown to Yemen. B, his father thought he was a terrorist threat. C, he bought a one-way ticket. D, he paid cash. There should have been no way that he was allowed to get on any plane in any foreign country and fly to the United States. We want that to happen now. So those are the 5 things that we're asking, and they can all be implemented relatively quickly without much cost to our government, and they ought to be done first and foremost because safety has to come first. Again, this airport is vital to Buffalo's economy. God forbid Muttalib had succeeded. The worst thing, of course, would have been the horrible loss of life. But we also know that people would have stopped flying, and it would have cost the nation tens of billions of dollars, and this area hundreds of millions of dollars in economic commerce and well-being. So we have to act now. Ready for your questions. First on this subject, then on any other. Well, I'm leaving the number up to them, but it can't be, if they had at the smaller airports 1 person all the time, at the larger airports 2 or 3 people all the time, the TSA would know exactly whether these foreign countries were rigorously observing the screening procedures. There is no question about it that the procedures work a lot better here in the United States than they work overseas, even though the law says they should be the same everywhere as long as the plane is flying to the United States. If it's a foreign plane taking off from Nigeria and going to Beijing, that's up to those 2 countries. But anytime the plane is going to end up here, we have to be concerned.